YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. In the last week or so, it's been a little slow in the NFL news department, but now, just moments ago, we have an NFL trade. Sam Darnold going to the Panthers for 3 draft picks. I'm here to break it down and give you my grades. We'll do this for any big trades that are on the way. I believe there still will be some, but this is going to be an interesting one, surprising one to say the least. But yeah, follow our Twitter. We were talking already a bunch on our Twitter, so you're missing out if you're not following us there. We have a fan voted mock draft going on. Please subscribe for full NFL content, full NFL draft content going on right now. Really excited about that. Join us for all that. Any link that you're looking for will be pinned in the comments there. Here's our Twitter. Yeah, we were talking like crazy about this trade as it went down. All the small details that most people aren't really talking about, we talk about it. We also got a fan voted mock draft going on here. The Cowboys are on the clock for that, so you guys can go ahead and vote. But, yeah, Sam Darnold to the Panthers. This was a little surprising. I thought the Panthers were kind of going to go big or go home, meaning, go for Deshaun Watson. That ended up being less than, we said it from day one. The Texans do not want to trade him. People are insisting they're going to trade him. They don't want to trade him. Maybe a future trade is possible. But teams really don't want to get involved now with all that whole situation. But maybe the Panthers would trade up and get a big-time prospect. I kind of got the feeling they weren't in love with a number of them. They kind of maybe just liked one or two. Was it going to be realistic they were going to get that guy? And then maybe just stick with Teddy Bridgewater. They got calls for Teddy Bridgewater before free agency. Don't forget that. They got trade calls. And they were the ones that kind of declined them or put them on hold for now. Because they were trying to go big. They were trying to go for Watson. Potentially a trade up in the draft like some of the other teams did, like the 49ers. And they felt like if they couldn't make that happen, they better keep Teddy Bridgewater because he's kind of plan B. Well, that actually changed. They went to Sam Darnold, who definitely has more upside, I guess, than Teddy Bridgewater. Upside's debatable, though. You have enough reps under your belt. How much upside. I don't really see a quarterback at this. I don't know if we've ever seen it at this many reps in. It's not a lot, but once you get under center, once you get your feet wet, there's not too much change with quarterbacks. Not a whole bunch of change. You kind of can put a Band-Aid over the problems. But that's another debate. Well, let's not debate whether or not he has a lot of upside, a little upside, any at all. I don't know if that has, anything to do with kind of grading what happened here today. That'll obviously affect the Panthers, but it will be a 2-year deal because they expect to pick up his option, which will be pretty pricey. We were talking about that on Twitter, over $18 million. So that was a little surprising too. So they invested a lot of money, only like a $4.7 million cap hit this year. 3 picks, so 6 this year goes to the Jets, 2022, second to the Jets, and a 2022 fourth there as well. So 3 draft picks. If they would have kept them, the Jets would have kept them. They would have let him walk in free agency. They would not have picked up that option, let him walk in free agency. What kind of compensatory pick would they have gotten in 2023? It would have been 4th round pick, maybe 5th. And they get a 4th round pick, but it's next year instead of a 2023 compensatory. And they get a 2nd and a 6th this year. So, yeah, the Jets, it feels like that's a pretty good haul for Sam Darnold. It's definitely a pretty good haul. Just right off the bat, to grade the Jets, I'm going to give him an A+. This is a guy that was going to be your backup this year. There's a prospect sitting there when they sit there at pick 2 that is just better day 1 and then obviously has that upside. Sam Darnold was going to be a backup. They weren't going to pick up the option. It was going to be a 1-year deal. Clearing $4.7 million is a minor part of this, but it's, I guess, a positive still. And they got 3 draft picks, including some value. I value any draft pick. They got a 6th this year, but a 2nd and a 4th next year. A 2nd round pick. That's pretty damn valuable. That's pretty damn valuable there. So that's a heck of a job there. You almost got something out of nothing. That's kind of what it feels like. You definitely get an A+. And then for the Panthers, there's really no way around this for me, for my beliefs. I gave it an F. I do not like this for the Panthers. And again, even if you're one of the, your group, there's a group of people. I don't think the group of people is that big, but there's a group of people out there, group of fans that believe Darnold is going to reach that potential we were supposed to hit. I can disagree with that. I do disagree with that, but that's not the debate here. I think he still has to get there with time. It's a maybe he can get there, and it's still going to take time. I think a decent amount of time if he's going to get there. 2 years for the Panthers here. They got a lot of money invested into him. They invested 3 draft picks. You trade for him based on what you saw. I don't know what you saw to made you trade. If there wasn't a second-round pick involved, that second-round pick gets me. I don't know what you saw to trade that many picks, including the second-round pick. If it was a 6th this year and a 4th next year, I don't even know if I would have loved it then, but it would have been a lot better. I mean, you gave up a haul for Sam Darnold. People will probably make excuses. People try to, all of a sudden, maybe like Darnold, maybe because they're on their team. He's on their team. I don't know. There's really no way around it to me. The value doesn't match up. I'm not grading based on what I think he'll be in 5 years from now. Will he even be on the Panthers 5 years from now when maybe that upside that he apparently has, he hits? We can't grade that here today. I think they overpriced them. The recent news, actually, I think Rapport was talking about this morning, but that was it's repeating old news. The Jets, really didn't feel like they had to trade him. Teams were they weren't offering a lot. The Jets were kind of feeling like, do we just hold on to him, get that compensatory pick in 2023 because teams aren't offering a lot, and the team's problem was, they don't want to pick up that option. It's a 1-year deal. A guy hasn't proven anything on the field yet. How much do we trade for that? But then here comes the Panthers giving up 3 draft picks, and one of them is a second-round pick. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense. The way Bridgewater played in the first half of the season I thought was better than expected. He played way worse than expected in the second half of the year. You can make excuses for Teddy Bridgewater, too. I thought he got hurt in the middle of the season. Does that mean I think he's the answer? No. I think at this position, if you want to win a championship, it's everyone's goal. You got to go big. There's always a way to get better at the quarterback position. If there's not, then you got yourself a quarterback if you can't get better there. So I don't think Darnold's it. I don't think Bridgewater's it. I think Bridgewater's better than Sam Darnold right now, if healthy. But you could say Darnold has more upside. Is there that much upside there? People said that about Bridgewater. He was looking good in his young career at Minnesota. He got hurt, terrible injury. Then he has upside when he's back. Did he really have upside? No, he was better then, maybe because of the injury. So Sam Darnold doesn't really have that. But, what he's proven to me is, he's got a lot of work. I think a lot of his mistakes are mental. I know a lot of people blame it on Gase, and there was some, you can put a Band-Aid over this. You can put some better pieces, there's some better weapons in the Panthers, and you can make it look a little better. Is he going to develop traits? Is he all of a sudden going to be, not make the bad decisions, the big mistakes? Those things aren't going to go away. But again, he can look slightly better, now, where he'll be down the line when he's on a new contract, yet to be determined. But I actually do have, this is just one example. If I sit here and show film all day, I'm going to get copyrighted. But a lot of you see the hesitation. You see the hesitation there, and that's what I see a lot of when it comes to Sam Darnold. It's just a lot of hesitation, it's mental hesitation goes into that. And we'll see if they can fix that. I like the coaching staff there. Their judgment on quarterbacks hasn't really been trusted. You can't really trust fully yet, but there's a lot of work to do there, and I don't know if it's going to be tough, but I'm not even grading what I think they can do or can't do at Sam Darnold. I'm just grading the value they gave up for what he's done so far. Just didn't really make any sense, and this is I thought somebody's going to get Darnold for way less than this. I just couldn't believe the second-round pick was involved. So people will try to talk themselves into this, come up with excuses here, but it's not flying with me. Again, he could end up being pretty solid. He's not going to end up winning them a Super Bowl. He can end up being solid, better than I expected. It doesn't change the grade here. Like I said, from how I grade, I don't predict outcomes here. I just grade the value. So, but I wasn't high on Darnold out of USC. I wasn't really sure what all the fuss was about. A lot of the same mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes. In his own head at times in big moments of the game, and those things just kept going. So nothing's really changed for me on him. I expect him to be a little better than he's been, but so we'll see what happens here. If I was the Panthers, I would, that's another thing that factored in this. Trying to make good out of this. I'm trying to figure out I really don't want to put an F up here. I really don't. That many picks, but, was it better than quarterback options they could have taken in the draft? No. I'd rather use a second-round pick on a Kellen Mond, much rather. Those guys have upside. You want to talk about upside? Those guys have upside. So there's nothing. I mean, the good is, if you want to stay positive, you want to stay confident, Joe Brady's a good coach, Matt Rule's a good coach. Maybe they can get something out of him. Again, quarterbacks just don't change, they really don't change. They definitely don't develop traits at this point of their career. They just don't. It would be the first one ever. It'd be the first one ever, quarterback. It never happened. So, I don't know what they expect to get out of this. I mean, sure, they could be better. They could find a way to be better. It's just not going to get you to where you want it. You wanted to trade for Deshaun Watson. Why? Because you're going to be a Super Bowl team then. You trade 3 draft picks for Sam Darnold. I don't know. Not a big fan of it. Was trying to find a way to not make it an F, but it's just anybody who traded for him for that amount of picks or that value just was going to get an F at the end of the day. I mean, I do like the Panthers staff. I don't trust them with the quarterback situation right now. I like. There's a lot of pieces on the roster I like. They still got that 8th overall pick. Let's see what they do with that. I'm thinking offensive line. That's the other thing too. I mean, you got the Jets that, they're all a big complaint. Their offensive line right now, the Panthers offensive line isn't looking much better. I'm going to say it's better. Is it better on paper? I don't even know if it's better on paper, to be honest. I do like Taylor Moton. On paper, it's somewhere around the same as the Jets. Slightly better, maybe. But they do coach it a lot better. But it's not much better. It's better. It's not much better. And then receivers, I mean, Sam Darnold had Robbie Anderson. He had Robbie Anderson, Jamison Crowder. So you got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. You got Christian McCaffrey. So the Panthers' weapons are better, but some familiar face in there. And a lot of Sam Darnold's mistakes, if you watch, were on him. They were on him. So, yeah, it's more with just working with his mind, and that's the tougher part. I don't know if it can be done. So we'll see what happens here. I'm not a fan of that one for the Panthers, how much they have invested at the quarterback position between Teddy Bridgewater and now how much they have invested with Sam Darnold, 3 draft picks and a load of cap hits. A smaller one this year, but an 18.858, whatever it is, next year, because they are going to pick up the option. It was either that or extend them long term. Do you want them for more years, or do you want the bigger cap hit? So that's a big question there too. So see what they do in the draft. This is very, very interesting. We figured he'd get traded, but this is definitely surprising. But that is going to do it for this one. We will grade all the trades, of course, the big ones, and we got plenty of NFL draft content on the channel right now. More to come. Hopefully you join us for that. Subscribe, smash that like button. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.